Hi friends, this is View to Sierra Papa Foxtrot. Very happy to present a topic on remotely accessing your VUSDR radio on this occasion of Larc6. So you know VUSDR, many of us have built this SDR from a kit by Dr. Naidu, View to Zulu Alpha Zulu. Sound and control interfaces are on USB port. You require a computer to access this, to use this SDR. We found that Raspberry Pi version 3 is quite powerful to run some SDR software like Quisk or digital mode like WSGTX or GTDX. Or you can run with a laptop or desktop on Windows OS also, or Linux OS. Why remote operation? Because remote operation is fun and helps when the rig is in RF quiet location and operation is from a high QRM place. Many times we go to some place. When operating from outside the shack, as it happened in my case, I wanted to operate from the ground floor while my shack is on the second floor. Or when you are away from QTH, or you can find some other reasons to use the remote rig remotely. Digital modes only, where you don't require any transport, you can use this remotely. For SSB also you require voice to be transported across the remote station and your rig. You can access from a remote computer, you can access from a mobile phone, but you require a Wi-Fi or wired network for accessing it remotely. This is an example where I have run the GTDX on my VUSDR, and it was being run on a mobile phone using VNC. As you can see in that red circle, real VNC is running, which was part of the Raspberry Pi. Very commonly people use the remote access on computers, like using from a different place for teaching and learning or some other purposes. It's good for digital modes. Accessing the two-way sound with screen is required for SSB operations. So if you have got access with sound using some of the package, you can do it. For Raspberry Pi, VNC is the ready-made thing. It comes along with the Raspberry Pi OS. But in the free version of VNC, real VNC rather, which was part of the Raspberry Pi, the two-way sound is normally not available. You have to pay for it, so it's quite suitable for digital mode. But I found that there is a package called NoMachine, which provides both screen as well as the sound access from remote machine to your rig. There may be other methods also for transporting the screen voice over the net, for example X2Go, FreeNX, Mumble, etc. But I have not tried them, or rather I tried, but they were not as simple as the NoMachine package. So what is required is a computer like a Raspberry Pi with display, keyboard, mouse if you want to operate locally, or at least for setup purpose. You require a USB sound card for mic in and speaker out, or you can use a USB mic or USB or Bluetooth speaker. I have tried these two and they work very well. You require some kind of a network connectivity, either Wi-Fi or wired. You require a cable, USB A to B cable for connecting VUSDR to your Raspberry Pi or computer, and of course power supplies are required for all of them. So the setup is something like this. You have got the VUSDR rig, which is on this side, left hand side, connected to the power amplifier and antenna, and on right hand side it connects to Raspberry Pi using a USB cable, and Raspberry Pi is also connecting to a sound card dongle, which we will talk about in a minute, for connecting to mic and speaker using USB. And the Raspberry Pi has got network connectivity, either wired or Wi-Fi or using some other method. And the network gets connected to the mobile phone on the other side, or a computer which has got a net connectivity. So this is simple setup. You just require a sound card and along with a Raspberry Pi to do setup. So what do how do we access this? What are the preparations required? So we install Raspberry Pi OS. Of course, it should be there, and connect it to a network. For this you have to go to Raspberry Pi site to learn all those steps. install Quisk SDR package on Raspberry Pi, and the installation instructions are given in the Quisk website. Very detailed instructions are there. You have to follow them to install it. Then SDR radio has to be connected to your Raspberry Pi using USB, and then you need to have a sound card, USB sound card, like what is shown on the right hand side. These are cheap ones, and they get connected to your microphone and some kind of speaker, or you can use a headphone if you need it. So in Quisk, you have to set up Quisk and then create a new radio of soft rock type, and you have to give it some name like VUSDR local or whatever you like. Configure the sound for it. We will have a look at it configuration in a minute, and then check whether it is receiving properly or not, and then similarly check the transmit also. So this kind of a part of the Quisk setup, where some kind of a new hardware has been created. So you can see it is software, soft rock type, etc., etc. You don't have to change anything. You need to change in the second tab, which is the sound tab of your Quisk. So this is how the sound is to be configured. You see radio sound output is at 96,000 bits per second, and on the right hand side you can see we are connecting to a USB audio device, and I have used the Pulse in the Linux rather than using ALSA. Both of them are available, so whichever you like. I had done it using Pulse also. All devices, when you click on the right hand arrow, then you see all the devices which are available, and you can select one of them. So you don't have to remember any names. You can directly do it from that right hand arrow, down arrow, which you see on the rightmost side. Similarly, for the microphone input, which is actually set by the audio dongle, which is 48,000 samples per second, and again the USB Pulse device is used there. Now we come to the most important part of IQ samples going from our VUSDR to Raspberry Pi. Again 96,000 for RX as well as for TX. But what is important here is that channel I, which you see in the third column here, is 1 and 0, channel Q is 0, and for the TX it is reversed. Make sure that it is like this, otherwise you will get everything will be inverted. Your band will be inverted, your side bands will be inverted. So this is 1 0 and 0 1 is very important here. And on the right hand side you see the sound device. If you are using ALSA, you will see the VUSDR directly, but since I am using the Pulse, so it shows you shared ID for use with the libUSB, analog stereo or something like that. So this is nothing but your VUSDR. So you have to find out from the right arrow and select and try it. You might have to try out one or two options to get the proper one. Then install the NoMachine on Raspberry Pi, and on the Quisk create one more setup, one more radio for remote access using NoMachine. We may call it something like VUSDR NM or something like that. And similarly install the NoMachine app on mobile phone, and when you start the NoMachine app on mobile phone, it will look for the NoMachine server, and if both are in the same network, you will get the connection. You will see it happening, or it will show you. Now one very important thing is in NoMachine setup, you have to enable the microphone. I will show you how to do that. Normally it is off, so you have to enable it. Otherwise your voice will not be transported over. And of course that's all. You enjoy the remote access of VUSDR. All these steps are shown in slightly more detail below. So you see on the right hand side there is a menu which is actually a NoMachine menu. That cob symbol, that gear which you see, that is the one where you have to click and enable the microphone. Okay, otherwise normally it is disabled. This is the NoMachine menu. You can do a lot of things. We will not talk about them. You can experiment with them. So NoMachine control panel will be something like this, where you can see few things and you can control it on the Raspberry Pi. So here you see Quisk is installed. I have actually created a menu item in the ham menu. So, you have to launch it from there. This menu has to be created manually in the Raspberry Pi, or you can directly run it from the terminal. So, you see both the menu of the Quisk as well as that of the NoMachine. Sorry. Now, you configure the NoMachine VUSDR radio as exactly like what we had done earlier. Only thing is, now for the microphone input you have to say pulse in the pulse thing, you say monitor of NoMachine output, and for radio sound output you use the same radio audio device which you were using earlier, that is the dongle. In fact, NoMachine takes that as the default and it will send the audio across from the output of your dongle. But for input you require to do make it like monitor of NoMachine, or there may be a entry like microphone, NoMachine microphone. So, you can select one of these two. So, this is Quisk SDR package running on the mobile phone. It is taken from it's a screen capture of a mobile phone. So, as you can see, there is some activity here, and there are at least 2 stations or some voices there on the thing. Connecting from a mobile network is another option. That one, till now what we have seen is from Wi-Fi, but we can connect from mobile network also. When you are out of QTH, it is a good option, but it requires your home router to be slightly programmed. So, what we have to do is we have to allocate a fixed IP address for your Raspberry Pi. Now, that we have to do using a DHCP in your router using MAC address. If you are interested, I can show you in detail later. And then second thing what we have to do is we have to forward all packets which are received by your router on port 4000, which is actually used by the NoMachine, to this particular IP by using port forwarding. So, what happens is when you are outside your QTH and you are connecting through a mobile network, so any request coming from your mobile phone to your router will be directed to the Raspberry Pi. And also you require to create a domain name for your router, which you can do by using some dynamic DNS. For example, I am using free DNS service, which is very good actually, freedns.afraid.org. There all the simple tricks are given how you can create a domain name for your router. Of course, they have some fixed names, so you can choose one of those names which are available. And then some small program or script on Raspberry Pi will keep on polling that DNS service every 5 minutes or so. And if there is any change of the IP address of your router due to say power gone or changed by the ISP, then it will be updated in the DNS service. So, it is good to know that performance depends on the network speed and load control, load of the on your network. So, supposing somebody in your home is uploading or downloading videos, then your network will get slightly overloaded and you may have discontinuity. If your network speed is very good, very high in gigabits, then nothing will affect it. It will continue very well. We do have a 30 Mbps network available in our area, but somehow it is not very good. Using Wi-Fi repeater, if your rig happens to be in a slightly different area, then I am not able to fix the IP or DHCP, because Wi-Fi repeaters create their own subdomains. Any decent computer you can use in place of a Raspberry Pi, any decent one. What about other transceivers? So, I have not tried it, but if there are transceivers like MicroBitX, which has got provision to control the frequency and some parameters over network or USB, it should be able to work with Quisk or other similar programs. Not tried. If you have some experience, please let me know. We will do it. I will also enjoy that. I think Pocket RxTX is one program where which can be utilized for that, but I am yet to test it out. is good sound card may for this purpose will be required to connect the transceiver's sound input output with Raspberry Pi. Whole system requires good end-to-end internet connectivity. This is one of the important things. When there is a low data rate area, you expect breaks in voice in both the directions. Since there are two ADCs, in one in the phone and other in the SDR, and they are not in sync always, so there may be some periodic disturbances which appear in the transmit. In fact, I have got reports that there are some tick tick sounds in between which may be caused by this kind of differences. What is happening in my case is at the beginning of transmission, some band noise burst kind of thing appears for a very short period, which is perhaps caused because of the mic picking up the speaker signal before PTT changes at the other end. So these are some of the things which you should understand. More information is available from Quisk SDR site. You can see all these things. All these addresses are there, so you can search for that. And I have got my blog where I have kept more details about this connectivity, so you can access it also from the last link. So that is linktree /VU2SPF. So enjoy humming. See you sometimes on the band, and please let me know how was your experience with remoting. If there is any help required, please feel free to call me. Thank you.